Hey Chinmay. Hi. Okay, cool.
Hey, hi sir. Morning.
Hi Chinmay. Good morning.
Saurabh just he had called up that he won't be able to join for some reason. But okay, let's wait for maybe 2-3 minutes more and then we can start.
Okay.
Hey, Satya. Hi.
Hi Jaideep.
Everybody's looking forward to your talk. Like ऐसे कल सौरभ ने अंदर भी ऐसे इतना गाजा वाजा किया था कि
हाइप तो नहीं किया बट हाँ मतलब
yes. And it is super interesting topic. Like मजा आया. This is good. Gonna be good.
I hope it is worth everyone's time.
We'll ask you questions if you don't understand. We'll interrupt you. So let's have it more like a dialogue than a very one way. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
How has the series been going on so far? I mean, I attended a couple of sessions, but could not attend the last two. I am looking forward to the SDLC one. I think Jaideep, you are doing it, right?
yes.
Saurabh told me about that. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. What happened? Okay, yeah. But overall, it was like fantastic. I heard and I mean, it's a great initiative from a org perspective.
Let's see. Solving our own edge. We don't have a problem. Getting a problem and solving it.
Actually, solving your own edge, I mean, there is some relation to what we'll see today. I'll talk about that quickly.
Just let me just put a message on our internal Slack.
Yeah, I'll share my screen meanwhile just to ensure everything is
yes.
okay and you guys can see
enough number of people, so we can start at 9:35. I know want to also respect your time so that we end on time and we have enough. Yeah.
Is this readable?
Yes, I can read at least.
Perfect. So just before we jump in, Jaideep mentioned solving your own edge, right? So what you see here is not a presentation software, traditional software. This is built on thinkdaily.com. So thinkdaily is a writing app I have built, and when Saurabh said कि तेरे को present करना है, so I thought कि first let me build something, let me build a feature, उसके बाद में मैं presentation पे काम करूँगा. So that's the way I kind of procrastinate the important stuff, trying to build something. Anyway, so hey guys, I am Satya. I was there in the last couple of sessions ago. So some of you have heard me speak. So I am building Querygen right now. Before this, I was working like leading customer success at Last9. That's where I was working with Saurabh. That's how I met Saurabh. Also met Siddharth, and that's how I found out about 1-2N also during that time. I've also built thinkdaily.com, periscopechat.com. Periscopechat.com is how we started ThinkDaily. It was the original RAG agent application that we set out to build. And slowly that has now kind of transformed into Querygen. We are a small team, just 3 folks. 2 of us work from Bangalore, 1 person works from Nagpur. Coincidentally, all of us are originally from Nagpur. So, yeah. So what is Querygen? Some of you might have heard about this, but Querygen is essentially an AI platform that converts messy chat messages into clear, actionable insights. We work with, when I say chat messages, we work with WhatsApp, normal WhatsApp chat that businesses use, that we use every day. We work with WhatsApp Business. We work with Instagram. We work with Telegram. So that kind of chat messages is what I mean. It could also be, we could plug into Slack, Teams, etc. We just haven't come across a customer who wanted us to do that. It's essentially whoever can send us a structured payload and which we can parse and treat it as a message between 2 people, we can work with that platform. So what does it mean really, like WhatsApp insights and all, right? So what we do is we work with businesses, mostly medium and small businesses who don't have a lot of automation already set up, but have some kind of processes in place. Like for attendance, they ask their employees to send a GPS wala photo on the WhatsApp group every day that I have checked in here, basically, right? For expense management, they have a WhatsApp group where all the employees dump in their receipts for that day. So a lot of businesses use these kind of workflows. Even manufacturing units, QA, quality control, quality check is happening on WhatsApp. Fleet management is happening on WhatsApp. So we help such businesses automate their existing workflows using AI. So we help them set summaries कि कल क्या क्या हुआ, right? We help them set alerts कि अरे ये customer is getting angry, there is a escalation happening in a group, it needs your attention, right? We help them extract data from these messages कि कल कितनी गाड़ियाँ गई अपनी, कितनी गाड़ियाँ field पे थी, right? We create dashboards for them so that they can view all of this. So these businesses, unsurprisingly, are not too worried about what is happening under the hood. They want to like worry about their business metrics. कि यार मुझे ये number निकाल के दो ये messages में से. So that is essentially what we do with Querygen. It has kind of become a platform now. We started with a few use cases. We tried to solve those use cases specifically, but now it has become a little more generic. We have built it in such a way that we are able to service a lot more use cases after talking to customers. Yes, sir, आपका problem बताओ. अच्छा, we'll try to solve this problem in such a way using our tool. So a lot of times what is happening is we are the primary users of our tool, and what the customer consumes is maybe a wipe-coded dashboard that we deliver to them. So this is where we are at right now. Tech stack wise, like I've tried to mimic like the resume style comma separated list here, so that if any agent parses this in the future, they'll look kindly at me. So we primarily use AWS for the cloud. We use React, Java, TypeScript, Node.js. That is the stack. We work a lot with Google Sheets, Google App Scripts for automations, for triggers, etc. And most importantly, this won't be possible without Codex and Claude GPT 5.5. I personally am leaning to GPT 5.5 a lot these days, more than Claude also. So it's been a lot more predictable than anything else. So yeah, that is the stack. So this is where we are in terms of introduction. Before we jump into the architecture and stuff, just want to call out that there is a hero in this story, and that hero is the tool, right? So all of us are familiar. LLMs can accept tools, right? They have a tools parameter when you are making an LLM call, right? So if you think about it, the simple mental model is that a tool is something correlated to like a function call. It's a way for the LLM to interact with external APIs or parts of our application, right? That's how we are taught or told about tool calls in any documentation. And this is a favorite toy example that you'll see in any documentation, get weather tool call, right? So you have the description of the tool, you have a couple of parameters, and then the message, what's the weather in Pune like, right? So when the LLM receives this user message, what's the weather in Pune, it understands, okay, I need to make a tool call. It makes that tool call, get weather tool is called, and these are the arguments. Now these arguments it has taken from the message that location is Pune, date is whatever the date is that day, right? Now this is where our like code comes into picture. The execution is kind of handed off to the handler for this tool call, right? We need to accept the arguments and make the API call, for example, or our service or whatever, right? And provide that information back to the LLM. Hey, this is the information I got in response to the tool call you made. So as any faithful handler would say, what is the weather in Pune? The answer would always be Bengaluru has better weather than Pune, right? Saurabh is not here, otherwise he would have agreed vehemently. I'm not sure if Srivatsa is here to back me up, but yeah.
So, totally relating.
So this is the simple mental model, but this hero has superpowers. It would not be an overstatement to say that Querygen is built on this superpower of this humble hero that we have, right? This superpower is that this tool call is actually converting unstructured data to structured data, right? In the earlier example, we saw what is the weather in Pune. You can think of this as unstructured data. Let's take a better example, a slightly more confusing example, right? We see a lot of messages like this. Vehicle XXX का loading हो गया है, यहाँ से यहाँ जाने वाला है, इतना सामान भर दिया है, and इतना डीजल डाल दिया है, right? So fleet tracking, these kinds of examples are common. But we want to record this trip now. So we create a tool and we pass a description to the tool that tells the LLM when this tool is to be called. We also pass some parameters saying this, you have to call this tool, this is a required tool call, or these are, this particular tool is what you need to call, that those kinds of options are there. And these are the parameters we pass, and we give a description for each parameter. So here for this simple example, we are saying extract the vehicle number and the weight in tons, right? So when it makes the tool call, it is simply extracting that particular pieces of information for me. So this messy message has suddenly become a good record that I can maybe store in my database for that trip. So this is, I wanted to call out that this is the core concept. We use it everywhere in Querygen. Once we realize this, we have been making use of this, abusing this kind of to whatever we can get out of it. Yeah, Jaydeep, you have a question?
So let's say, agar, I mean, because if you use English, right? Abhi vehicle ki jagah it uses gaadi number.
हाँ.
So how do you interpret this?
So, typically for these extraction type of scenarios, we use large models. We don't use small models. So most of the large models will understand that.
Achha, okay.
But very good question. In term when it comes to RAG, for example, let's say your entire context is in English, and the customer or the user is asking in Hindi, right? Let me come up with some example. So maybe you are a shop. This is like a real example. You are a trader who sells hardware like screws and nut bolts of some particular company. And then a customer comes in and asks कि आपके पास ये खीला है क्या, right? XX standard का खीला है क्या? Now if you query खीला, you might embedding model might hit something somewhere, but you might also lose it, right? You might lose that information. So what we do is, in the tool call itself, we say translate the user's query into English.
Okay.
So khila becomes like a screw maybe, right? So the chance of hitting that particular thing that you're looking for increases suddenly.
So just a follow-up question. Did you also try to look up the indic models like from Sarvam or something like that?
We haven't really. Yeah.
But let's say, is it mostly like with English, or also is it also, let's say, in Marathi, or I don't know if you're catering, let's say in
Marathi, Arabic also. We have some Dubai customers. Arabic also, like it's able to pick up. I mean, we haven't really hit a scenario where कि यार ये तो समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा इसको, and we need to do indic model. And also one more like practical thing when working with these small businesses is you are able to kind of force a little bit of constraints कि sir ऐसा कुछ भी message मत भेज दो कि समझ में ही ना आए, यानी magic नहीं है. So we are able to kind of nudge them a little bit to follow a certain process कि यानी you have to mention these 4 details, maybe थोड़ा structure में. So then it becomes a little more reliable further down the road.
And this can be like an audio message as well. Uska transcript.
Yeah, exactly. So I have those examples also further in the presentation. Shrivatz, you have a question?
Yeah, I have seen that most of the folks when they like talk about business also, right? They get receipts in PDF. They do sometimes like cam scanner and send it across, right?
Yeah.
And like sir invoice idhar hi bhej raha hu. So
Yeah.
like that, these are different flows, right? Like text parsing, translation, that is NLP. Then this is OCR.
Yeah.
How are you branching out based on input? Like one guy might send a voice note and be like, "Abhi invoice bheja," and that's a PDF. And then he's like, "Iske saath ye bhi rakh le," like, and then some text. Now, how do you split and come back?
I have those exact examples, like real customer use cases. I'll show them right now. Cool. Okay, so enough about the tool call. So, I mean, as I said, we are using it heavily. This is the basis of any decisions that happen downstream. Key. Do we want to process this message? Do we want to store this message? Do we want to trigger an alert to the user? Do we want to update Google Sheet, Notion, whatever, right? Everything downstream based on like similar tool calls. So sounds pretty simple. It could be a wrapper on top of GPT, right? Anyone could argue कि ChatGPT पे wrapper लगा दिया. But as you guys know, you build this stuff, you work with customers who build this stuff. It's not that simple. There is a lot of moving pieces. So this is essentially the architecture that we have evolved into. Obviously, it didn't wake up one day with this architecture in mind and built it. It has all been like looking in the past and trying to fix what is not working. So I'll quickly go through this. This is very high level. If there is any specific question, I can jump into it. But at a high level, on the left-hand side, what you see is the channels that we can talk with right now. So WhatsApp Business, Instagram, normal WhatsApp, Telegram, right? All the messaging apps. Now, we have also created clients, desktop clients for these, for WhatsApp and Telegram, because some people don't want their WhatsApp to be running in the cloud all the time, right? We also have headless versions of WhatsApp running in the cloud in containers for like a number. So we had to do a lot of that. But once we got that stabilized, we were able to establish a good pipeline of these messages, stream of these messages flowing into our systems. Now, earlier it directly came to the app, right? Directly hitting requests on the app server. But then we realized, okay, we can lose messages. There might be a spike, then all of that. So we need a buffer in between. So came SQS. So we added an API gateway feeding to the SQS. SQS triggers a Lambda function. The Lambda function calls the application eventually. There is a dead letter queue. All of that is there, right? So we try to make this pipeline reliable essentially, because however trivial the message sounds to you, like maybe out of 1,000 messages, 900 messages are useless, but those 100 messages are where the business is happening. कि एक ट्रक का अपडेट अगर मिस हो गया तो that ट्रक का information is lost. The user won't know, customer won't know. So we have to try and make this as reliable as possible. Right now it is working well for our scale. I don't know if it like scales up a lot. We might have to invest a little more in this. On the app side, as I said, Node.js app, we run it on ECS, Fargate, we scale up and down based on based on the traffic, but the same exact application is running in these containers, right? So the app handles when the messages come in, the app buckets them by the organization, by the user. It processes the message. Srivatz, to your question, it looks at the type of message, if there is an attachment, right? So, okay, let me take one step back. These clients receive the attachments, right? So for example, on your WhatsApp, you'll see a PDF is there, a JPEG is there, right? So we get this information from the events that these clients emit, that this message has a attached PDF, this message has a attached audio file, right? But we cannot so we do like a little bit of dance here. So in these clients, from these clients, we have to download the file first, because that is where the user is authenticated in that client. We can't download that file somewhere else outside that zone, right? So we have to download the file first. we upload that file to our S3, we get a like using pre-signed URLs, we get a CDN link for that file, and then we structure the message that our system understands that this is the sender, this is the message, this is the type of the file that is attached to the message, and this is the URL of that file. So all of this dance we do before the message actually hits the application server. Now, once it's at the application server, we will also do some processing based on the type of media. So for images, we do OCR transcription as soon as we receive an image. For PDFs also, we do that. For audio files, we do that. For video, we have started doing that. For video, we can't transcribe the entire video. So what we do is we run FFmpeg. We extract one frame, preview frame kind of thing from the video, and then we do like image transcription on that frame. So again, all of this came from customer requirements. So we'll talk about that in the slides. Then sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, one thing. How do you identify signal versus noise? Like, because I believe that you're listening on that one particular account where whatever the queries are actually pushed. But at times, do you process it, or do you, after the transcript is done, like, what's that your ratio that you have identified?
We haven't actually, Jaideep. So what we do is we haven't put in any metrics for this. Is what I mean. What we do is, if there is a lot of noise, so everyone is part of these community groups. For example, nowadays, if you live in a society, there is a community group. So we'll start receiving customer is getting angry alerts, and when we look at it, it's like some community member going berserk in the community, right? So then we right now do a very manual thing. We ask the user to mute these groups. So we have created like a config handshake. The user selects ki, bhai, mute these groups. I don't want to look at these. This config is downloaded in the client, and the client drops those messages there itself. So we want to reduce the noise from the source itself, but there is no like automated or programmatic way of doing this right now. We do it manually by working with the customer.
That's the human in the loop.
Yeah. yeah.
And also one more question: the amount of messages that you are ingesting to the system, like any just ballpark number at the moment.
So I don't know exact number of messages. Hard to tell directly looking at the database, because there is a lot of duplication also. Because if two people are part of the group, both of them receive those webhooks. So we have to do deduplication on our system first. But one proxy to it is in SQS. We are very close to hitting 1 million wala mark. We've started receiving those messages from AWS that this month you've used 85% of your free capacity. So 850,000 roughly. So yeah, we are like processing a lot of messages, and like most of them are noise, if you ask me, because WhatsApp is like that. But yeah, that is cost of doing business. Yeah. And then, as I was saying, we do AI processing of these messages. Now, AI processing means transcription, like the audio file transcription, video extraction, all of that we do. And then based on the user's config, we do an evaluation कि भाई ये मैसेज का करना है क्या, कुछ ये मैसेज काम का है क्या. फर्स्ट वी सी कौन से ग्रुप में आया है. यूजर वी लेट द यूजर क्रिएट कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस कि ये ग्रुप, ये 10 ग्रुप है, मुझे ये ग्रुप में अगर कोई मैसेज आता है तो एक्सट्रैक्ट दैट इंफॉर्मेशन in this Google sheet, for example. This is a config, right? So we let the user create these configs, or we create it for the users, and these rules we evaluate whenever we receive messages. So it could be at the trigger of a message, or it could be like a cron based trigger ki every 15 minutes, every 1 hour. That is also configurable for the user. We let them run these evaluations. So we evaluate them कि इसका कुछ करना है क्या, and based on that evaluation का result, we take the action. Whether it is an alert that the user has set, customer is getting angry, for example, that alert I mentioned, right? Whether it is extracting data to a Google Sheet, or Notion document, whatever they have configured in that configuration, or whether it is doing a RAG lookup and replying back to the sender of the message, right? That also is an action essentially. So if you think about it, what we are doing is only these three things. This is very small. I hope this is visible. This is ingestion. I'll hit escape just a sec. Yeah, this is ingestion, evaluation, and action essentially, right? What all these boxes boiled down to are only these three things: ingestion, evaluation, action. This is all we do. This is all that Querygen is, if you think about it. We ingest a bunch of messages, we do some pre-processing, we evaluate those messages based on rules that have been defined by the user or by us, and we take action based on the outcome of that evaluation. That's all, right? So now this is the architecture. I'll take a brief pause if for you to consume it a little bit. Sorry, Abhiraj, you already had a question. Go ahead.
Go on. Yes.
Yeah, so there are a couple of questions from my side. Is entire core, I will say, engine or core logic, is it written in TypeScript?
Yeah. Everything is written in TypeScript. I was very comfortable with JavaScript. I'm not sure if you guys know Tushar. He has done talks in Mitramanda AI. So he created a very beautiful kind of a monorepo kind of structure as a starting point. So it comes with better auth. It comes with React integration, Tailwind, all of that is there. And also this Hono or backend part driven by Hono, which all of it sits together in one library. I loved it, and I just ran with it. I built everything on top of. I migrated everything that I had earlier in separate repos, front end, back end. Then once I got it, I migrated everything to that. The reason I stuck with TypeScript is once I went to this monorepo structure, it became very easy for me to use it with LLMs. LLMs had the entire context of the project in one place. So it became very easy for me to start. This was like 7-8 months ago. LLMs were not, coding harnesses were not that advanced. So it really sped things up for me. So I stuck with TypeScript basically. We have used Go in some places, especially the WhatsApp client that I said, the desktop client we created. So it is 2 layers. It is React for the front end and Go for like the business part of that app. So, and then there is a framework called Wales that combines all of this together into one app. Earlier we had used Electron, but maza nahi aaya. Electron is very slow and takes up a lot of footprint. So Wales is like really tight, compact, 15 MB apps, a lot of functionality, very fast. So that's why we have used Go, but everything else is TypeScript.
So
So you said earlier like कि हम लोग photo downloads करते हैं and then उसको analyze करके फिर उसको response देते हैं. So do you compress those images or videos or anything, or you just because cloud will be right?
No, we don't compress because we are working with these platforms. They are so highly compressed. WhatsApp वगैरह पे तो इतना छोटा है file anyway. We are not doing a lot of compression. And at our scale, so we have like roughly 18 or 20 customers now. At our scale, it is not that big of a problem. S3 में जाके it is like staying there. And at the most, sometimes that is being served via the CDN over the internet. Once it is processed, we have extracted the juice out of it and it then just sits there. ऐसा kind of हिसाब है उसका. So उतना उसका फिर egress charges and all उतना हमने optimize करने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ा basically.
Okay. The third question, last question, Jaideep. So how are you bringing the customers? Is it like from marketing? Is it from like word of mouth? Because at the end, customers also, I guess, is the only question.
Yeah, very important question. And we were in a situation like last year where we were just building, and we had only 2 or 3 customers. And क्या बना रहे थे, किसको समझ नहीं रहा था customer को. But luckily, we hit upon like a good few. Like we met a few good people. They introduced us to a community of MSME owners in India, in Maharashtra, around Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad. So we are working a lot with that community now. So that is a good source of leads for us. And because we started in that community, the word of mouth is slowly spreading. So we are getting a lot of referrals also now. So that's how we are trying to get new customers. We are not doing any ads or anything right now. But I've been told like WhatsApp campaigns work very well. So we are exploring that. But early days, Abhiraj.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Satya.
You can continue, Satya. I know considering the time, and we can take it up take questions later on. Maybe people can put it on the chat.
Okay. So next is I want to kind of talk about the lessons learned. So I mean, title is building a resilient system, thoda fancy, but this is essentially what we have learned and what we have implemented based on our experience, right? Like I have like only 3 points in this. One is we saw this pipeline, right? Ingestion, evaluation, action. This works well when we have like really strong contracts between each of the stages of the pipeline. Very simple. Evaluation should not happen before ingestion is complete. Now, ingestion doesn't mean कि message आया और वो payload मैंने database में store कर लिया. That is only part of the story. As Shrivats was saying, as we were talking earlier, कि कोई invoice भेज देता है, तो मुझे उसका OCR करके उसको structured data में निकाल के वो मुझे process करके वो भी record करना है, right? And there are like already suddenly there is one more point of failure कि भाई वो OCR fail हो गया तो क्या, right? उसका स्टेटस कहाँ मेंटेन हो रहा है, कैन इवेल्युएशन प्रोसीड, वो ओसीआर खत्म हुआ ये मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा, राइट? सो ईच स्टेज हैज टू काइंड ऑफ एमिट सिग्नल्स की ओके दिस इज रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट स्टेप, दिस इज रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट स्टेप. सो सिंपल, इवेल्युएशन शुड नॉट हैपन बिफोर इंजेक्शन इज कंप्लीट. अभी from between the third and the second stage, action shouldn't trigger evaluation again. Action failure shouldn't trigger evaluation again. So let's say I am trying to write into Google Sheets, right? But for some reason I got a 500 error. Yeah, I got a 429 error. But that doesn't mean कि evaluation fail हुआ था या ingestion fail हुआ था. वो दो stages का processing is complete. We have recorded कि this is complete, this is ready for action, right? So we should not spend our tokens again in doing evaluation. Again, LLMs are non-deterministic. Maybe वो flip हो जाएगा result. It will be all confusion कि पहले था अभी नहीं है, whatever, right? So to reduce those number of variables, you need to record the state clearly कि pending है, processed है, what is the result of that evaluation, and then only move ahead from there, right? So kind of a one-way street. Third is smart retries. Retry only when warranted. So we have seen some instances where we retry because there is a failure, but without looking at what the failure is, if you retry, you'd be duplicating the side effect on the downstream system, right? 2 row add कर देंगे या फिर 2 बार alert चला जाएगा या 2 बार email चला जाएगा. So we have to basically be a little smart about what the failure is that you have received when executing the action. So this is essentially it on the first point. This is a AI generated diagram, as you can probably tell from the heading. Every message becomes recoverable work. I would never have been able to come up with the metaphor like this. But yeah, so this is exactly what I said. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate here. एक message आता है, उसका status, there are like various stages that it can be in at any given point. So based on the status of that message, based on the, sorry, I live near HL, there is a plane going, just give me 1 sec. Yeah, so based on the status of processing of that message, that's based on the checkpoints, has this message been processed? What was the last message processed? That's how you should take decisions. It should not be कि ये message आया and it's just going through the pipeline without any bookkeeping. So that is important. Second is managing concurrency and race conditions. This is where like we were caught off guard a few times. So we kind of put in this very simple but beautiful fix. We could have like, especially when a new user connects, there is a history sync that happens, right? You guys must have seen when you start WhatsApp on a new number, it takes a little bit of time. It downloads earlier messages, right? So suddenly there is a deluge of messages being sent to Querygen when a new number connects, right? Even with a buffer and everything. So obviously we spin up a few more instances during that time. But what that means is the same side effects are now running on 3 instances. कि 3 बार alert जाएगा, 3 बार extraction होगा, 3 बार summarization होगा, right? On the same message. There will be race conditions कि one instance of the application is marking this as done, while the other one has already picked it up when it was pending, right? So all of this nonsense will happen. So I mean, the obvious thing that came to my mind was let's use a elastic cache. Usme we can maybe maintain a key value pair. and be done with it. But then I prodded the LLM a little, ki kya kar sakte hai? I don't want to add another component to the architecture, maintain it, etc. So it suggested PG advisory log. So Postgres has this beautiful mutex locking ka mechanism. This is an application log, right? So the application basically writes a key. Ye creates a key and tries to acquire the log for that key. That handshake and that contract is between the database and the application. All the instances are sharing the same database. So all the instances first try to acquire that log from the database. Once it acquires the log, only then it can do the side effect wala processing. Otherwise, it just skips it for the next turn, right? Now, isme there is one one place where this might stop working is the timeout, right? We assign some finite timeout. You can hold the log for this much time. If you don't release it, it will time out and it will be available again. But now if the side effect starts taking more time than the timeout, this will stop working. So there we'll have to find some better way of handling this, either increase the timeout or but you can't increase the timeout endlessly. Otherwise, you'll have a slow application. But right now at our scale, all things said and done, PG advisory log is working fantastic. Third lesson in making these systems reliable and really trustworthy is we have tried to make everything auditable and replayable, right? Now, earlier when we started, if someone had asked me, why did it extract this from this message? Why did it not extract this extra detail from this message? So I had to go into the logs or maybe try to create a test use case, test scenario, run it, and then try to reason about it. It is a very long loop. You cannot have that loop with the customers, right? You want to earn the trust of the customer on this. So what we do is we show the proof of work. Ki, sir, dekho, yahan pe, this is the message that we received. It did not qualify because of this reason. Right, so this is we are telling the customer upfront. This is how it was processed. This is the decision that was taken. That's why it didn't qualify. Again, sorry. In another flow, here we are extracting something, right? So it shows this is the message that was received. We have extracted 7 rows. You can actually jump into the message, and you can also retry it here. You can retry the extraction flow, because it already has the evaluation, etc. And then it will just try to do it again. Actually, retry triggers evaluation again. We have given that functionality. But yeah, you get the point, right? This is how you earn the confidence of the customer. Because it's very hard to reason about these things. It becomes very hand-wavy very fast. With this in place, we are able to create reports. Very good example here. This is the trader that I was talking about. They use our RAG service where the customers can ask questions. So we actually show them what are the gaps in their knowledge base. That people are asking for this air gun, but we could not find it in the database that we have uploaded, the knowledge base we have uploaded, right? So this is one. Also, we show them what are the frequent queries that customers are asking about. So Unbreako 10 by 100, last day there were 4 queries about this specific item. And so it also tells them what is happening. So making things transparent is very important. Doesn't actually tie into the architecture in the sense that architecturally it is making it reliable, but it's important to bake this into your system so that everything is auditable and replayable, essentially. So that is one big learning that we have. Okay, we have 20 more minutes. I'll move.
One question here. For replayability, anywhere you have LLM involved, it is not a deterministic outcome, right? So for replayability, do you separate the LLM work from a non-LLM work, or how do you handle?
No,
or is it replayability at a ingestion layer only? Because evaluation is where you are actually running LLM, is my guess, which is where that is inherently temperature driven or whatever LLM hallucination driven.
Right,
but the ingestion is where you can be deterministic and write traditional code, which will always work or always not work, or it's deterministic essentially. Is that the right way to think about it?
So replayability, when we give it to the user as an option, we have given it from the evaluations, start of the evaluation, that we re-evaluate whatever the message was. Because we realize that the user might want to retry not only when there is a downstream failure of the extraction system, but also like maybe he thinks that this result is wrong or this OCR extraction didn't work correctly, right? Whatever. So we give that. So no, sorry, not. I'll take that back. OCR is extraction is on the ingestion part. So we don't give explicit option to retry the ingestion, but the customer can very trivially retry the ingestion by sending the message again. We do that all the time. If this was so, we have these petrol pump receipts we process. Lot of times the printer is not good. Like there is some zero looks like 8 and all. So we try to like ingest those messages again in some cases, or we create another receipt and send it as. So there are all these human in the loop kind of interventions, small interventions needed here and there. Not sure I answered your question or not.
Yeah, this is okay. This makes sense.
Okay.
And even from your business metric point of view, I'm guessing you could track these reevaluation runs.
Yeah.
And anytime there is a reevaluation run, it's like a feedback. Okay, matlab, try something again. So that means our first attempt failed. So
absolutely.
Failure, and what could we do better so that they don't have to manually retry next time.
Absolutely. And this also helps the business owner to like harden their processes a bit. कि सर ये ऐसे मैसेज भेज रहे हैं कि 2-3 मैसेज में information split है. Can this be sent as one message, right? So all of these small nuances then trickle down into their workflows. Their workflows also get hardened and helps with the like automation also. So one very key thing that we have realized is automation has worked well where the customer has had some semblance of a workflow. जहाँ पे workflow है ही नहीं, manual भी नहीं है, वहाँ पे automation has been like we have to invent the process then, which is like almost impossible. Getting the employees to change their behavior and all नहीं होता है.
Yeah, it's a habit change.
Yeah. So moving on. So now let's talk about like I have 3 actual customer use case scenarios. Let's talk about that. So this is one of our customers, Charu Constructions. They manage like a fleet of trucks moving around an Adani power plant. They move the fly ash, which is like a output of a power plant, thermal power plant. They dump it into mines. So the truck leaves from the power plant with a truckload of fly ash, and it is dumped in a mine. Now, beach mein they'll have to stop for fuel. They'll have to refuel once a week, twice a week, whatever. So those approval receipts or approval requests come to the owner. Now, owner is a busy man, obviously. 17-18 truck दिन के 50 ट्रिप कर रहा है. So he cannot go and check कि approval कब दिया था last, इसने refuel कब किया है, कितने trip हुए हैं. Every time he can't do that. So that's where this conversation started. Can you help me solve this? Now we receive photos like this from their. I'll just show. I'll have the dashboard somewhere here. Yeah. So we receive receipts like this from them. This is the Querygen dashboard. This is the kind of unified inbox that the users get. This like also supports Instagram, Telegram, everything in one place. So for this particular Charu Constructions customer, ये ऐसे रिसीट वहां से निकलते वक्त चेकआउट के वक्त आते हैं पावर प्लांट से. So Vidarbha Industries Power Limited is the power plant, right? Now we extract, we do this OCR that I mentioned. It comes for free now with every ingested message कि हाँ OCR तो हो ही जाएगा. Our systems expect that. So once that is done, there is something called a feature called flows, right? So flows is for extracting information, like workflow. Flows is short for workflow. If a message comes that satisfies this criteria, evaluation, perform this action, that is extract to a Google Sheet. So if you look at the creation aspect, this is the evaluation condition. Process only if the image shows printed, weighbridge or dispatch slip, blah, blah, blah. Right? We have tried to make it really precise so that it doesn't process other messages. Look at only these 2 groups क्योंकि इसी में आदमी भेजने वाला है message. And then extract it to a Google Sheet. ये Google Sheet connected है, उसमें ये columns है, and this is the description. Now, if you compare this to what we saw earlier, this is actually the tool call, right? So this translates to a tool call. जो extracted data मिल रहा है उसके ऊपर we are again putting a tool call and extracting this specific information from that OCR transcription output, right? So, and this we write it to the Google Sheet. And then talking about the auditability or replayability aspect, every single message you see here, it shows it was extracted, one row was added, you can retry, you can actually click and go to the exact message. This is the exact message, right? So the customer can establish that entire trail. This message came, it triggered this flow, this is why it was extracted, and then extract, okay, it goes into a Google Sheet. On top of that Google Sheet, we have vibe coded a dashboard for the customer. The customer can quickly see 2318C का last refill fuel का 6 November को हुआ है. If another request comes today, maybe he'll approve क्योंकि 12 November आ गया, right? And then itna payout and all of that, their metrics we have helped them calculate based on what we are doing. But essentially, the visibility that was not there at all suddenly is there, right? Every single vehicle, they can look at how many trips, what weight, and like what is the fuel consumption and everything, right? So all of this becomes available to the customer. They can also do reporting from here. They create PDFs, etc., that they share with Adani, that they share with their vendors. Everything happens from here. One very important tab in terms of reliability, this is the potential errors tab, right? Now, this started as a way for us to help prevent errors, but the customer also finds it useful, so we have put it in the dashboard directly, right? Unknown vehicle. A lot of times, especially if it's a handwritten receipt or if it's a petrol pump receipt, it's very difficult to understand exactly what the vehicle number is. So it's not in the vehicle rate list, this vehicle. What do you want to do? You can actually look at kahan se aaya. So this is the receipt, right? Impossible to like even read it manually also sometimes. तो LLM तो छोड़ दो, right? So ऐसे टाइप का अगर रिसीट आता है तो it's basically where did that go? हाँ. So it's an opportunity for them to like fix कि अच्छा ये actually 6016 AJ होगा या whatever, right? So they can fix these errors and then ensure कि हाँ जो output आने वाला है, report बनने वाला है, that report is at least accurate, right? We cannot claim कि 100% accuracy से system चलेगा. If we claim that with LLMs, it won't work, it won't fly. Every day there will be something or the else. So there is this requirement of human in the loop, and how we make it easy for that human कि भाई पूरा हर एक रिपोर्ट बैठ के नहीं देखना है, ये 4-5 चीजें हाईलाइट हुई है, I just have to quickly fix that, right? So that's what we are doing in terms of reliability. So this is Charu Constructions. I'll go back to the presentation. Again, I have like tried to show the use case where like we are using tool call to extract data from this image. Two important lessons learned. Messages can be edited, deleted by the staff. गलती से एक image भेज दिया जो कल का था, आज का भेजना था, गलती से number गलत डाल दिया, right? All of that can happen. So we need to handle every single event associated with messages also. We need to be aware that this message was edited, and then what was the original text, what is the new text, right? So while we talk about all the fancy AI stuff, this plumbing and this sanity check is like very important. You spend a lot of time building this orchestration layer around the LLM. So whenever someone like kind of jokes कि अरे ये तो LLM wrapper है, like I can tell कि सिर्फ LLM wrapper से कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. Production में जाना है तो you have to take care of lot of like all these small things, and of course you learn it as you encounter these scenarios, right? Second very important lesson is AI lets you automate existing workflows without having the user to change their behavior. Now the staff hasn't really changed their behavior. जो स्लिप वो पहले WhatsApp पे भेज रहे थे, maybe with some tweak, एक नंबर किधर ऐड करना है, उतना करके they are continuing their existing behavior. So that way AI automation is very powerful. You are not asking someone to sit on a dashboard, do manual entry क्योंकि अभी नया सॉफ्टवेयर सिस्टम आपने लगाया है. That all is not there. You continue sending WhatsApp पे मैसेज, तेरी लाइफ में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. Oh, the owner's life is suddenly changed. The stakeholder, the person who is paying for the software, he is very happy, right? So that is another important lesson. Second, very interesting use case. Any questions on this? We have like very little time left. I'll rush through this a little bit. The wrapping store. So this is a D2C brand. Instagram pe hai. They sell these like this kind of stuff. I don't know what it is called, but they sell this. So again, because it's on Instagram, it's a visual medium. All the communication happens based on images, videos, reels. We have to make sense of all of that, right? So they use us for automatic replies. So what they did was we like convinced them to add this product code on top of every reel that they post, every story they post. So instead of doing a vague rag lookup like blue flowers and this tray based on like whatever OCR is doing, it's impossible to find a product that way. So we said, let's sir add a constraint here कि आप ये इसमें product code डाल दो. That made like everything downstream very easy. So that constraint is a very good thing in practical applications. See, कुछ constraint अगर रहा, it makes things very easy, very convenient, very accurate. So now what we have to do is look for this product code. Based on this product code, we do a lookup in their knowledge base, find the exact product, and reply with the information of that product to the user, right? This is where we also do that FFmpeg magic and image and like look up with Instagram URLs and all of that. So this is like one lesson learned is constraints are good. If there are no constraints, it's going to be, you'll want to build an ideal system and then it will get you nowhere. So constraints are good in that sense. Again, one important architecture wise lesson learned is ingestion, right? So we are processing videos, images, all of that for them. So the earlier lesson that we spoke about, that don't trigger evaluation until ingestion is complete. This is where it came from. So unless the video has been downloaded, frame has been extracted, transcription has been completed, you cannot trigger evaluation. Otherwise, the customer won't get a reply, right? So that's how it ties back to that lesson. So we wait for everything to be processed essentially. So this is the third one, happy eaters. So very interesting. Again, like a automatic reply lookup kind of use case, but that's not the interesting part. So this is a community. These are like 6-7 groups, like hundreds of new moms, very anxious moms asking everything that like any parent would be worried about their kid. Ki sardi ho gayi hai, thoda bukhar hai, my kid is not eating, my kid is not walking, he's 13-month-old. So all these questions, right? But happy eaters, as the name suggests, is more about food. Ki recipes hum aapko suggest karenge. That is their business, right? And they also have some growth activities. Now, because these are groups, kitna bhi moderate kar liya jaye, like people will ask some medical questions. Someone will reply with medical answers. Now, in this case, even if your chatbot is part of the group, you cannot be intervening in every single message and replying. Even if the reply is, I don't know the answer to this, it will break the continuity, the discussion in the group. If people think there is a chatbot here, that conversation will die down. So we have to be very aware of where we are responding and where we are keeping shut, right? So again, tool call to the rescue. Before doing a rag lookup in the same tool call, we have added one more parameter. Should we reply, right? And in the evaluation, I mean, it's a trivialization of that. In the evaluation, the criteria that we have said, if it's a medical question or medical thing, don't reply. You are not an expert. The company cannot take responsibility. Don't sell products, don't sell medicine, all of that, right? So essentially, this tool call helps us segregate कि किसको reply करना है, किसको नहीं करना है. It helps you be very specific. So if someone is asking a medical category question, high risk, shut up. Right? If it's like recipes, low risk, you find the answer. If you find the answer, then give the reply. If you don't find the answer, mark it as a knowledge gap. Tell the customer कि ये recipe आपके पास नहीं है, right? या ये age group की recipe नहीं है. So it's mainly a behavioral lesson. I'll like pause for 5 seconds for you to read this behavioral lesson. Right? So you need to know when to shut up and when to speak. And this is what's needed in like automated group communications. It should not sound like a bot essentially. So
It's like
these are the
में जो है ना, if you don't have anything interesting to say nothing as a program. Rule of I think silence or something like that it is called. So very similar. Interesting.
right. So these are the use cases. I'll quickly, I have a little bit of section on RAG also, because I like sense that there was a lot of discussion on RAG. Maybe we'll park that for later. Just wanted to, this is okay, I'll skip this also. I'll show LLM ops quickly. Like there is not a lot of observability that we have invested in. We are primarily relying on CloudWatch logs, metrics, like whatever comes out of the box. But this LLM ops is one piece that has helped me a lot. My requirement was simple. This is again a product by Tushar Chaudhary. He did a talk in AI Mitra Mandal on this. Requirement was simple. I told Tushar कि यार तू बना रहा है, but उसमें मुझे एक ही चीज चाहिए कि कितने कस्टमर पे, कौन से कस्टमर पे कितना पैसा खर्च हो रहा है. Right? I need a visibility of that, क्योंकि फिर I'll ask them कि थोड़ा सा ज्यादा पैसा दो, ये दो, right? Even more than कितना, यानी red metrics, latency, ये वो, which is okay, we'll make it work somehow, right? So this is the dashboard that he gives, and if you go to observability, you get this overall view कि last 7 दिन में इतना LLM का cost use हुआ है, इतने request, इतने tokens, all of that, right? Costs में if you go, best part that is you can assign tags like attributes, right? And then for every customer, it will give you a breakdown by day, like कितना every day का किसका कितना खर्चा है. I can go and tell happy eaters कि सर आपका महीने का $60 तो मैं आपका LLM पे खर्च कर रहा हूँ, तो थोड़ा पैसा बढ़ा के दो, kind of, right? That kind of conversation. And it also helps me optimize कि इनको इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, let's turn this feature off, all of that. So this is very helpful. It also has traces and very beautiful traces. So it comes out of the box essentially. Agent SDK, if you are using OpenAI, the traces work out of the box. There is no additional open telemetry integration that I have to do or collector that I have to run, nothing like that. This is being served as an SDK that is integrated into my application, and it's basically intercepting every single request that goes like a gateway would do essentially, right? And storing the metadata around that, the observability data around that. Traces that we saw the other day, you can see RAG function, what was the RAG query, everything is available here. So as an application developer, very convenient for me. I didn't want to run another service in addition to the application, maintain that, run more containers, because like we are very constrained on bandwidth right now, and we are able to manage at this scale. Slowly that will start breaking. Maybe we'll need something like what we saw the other day, Bifrost and other stuff, Grafana, Tempo, etc. But for now, this is what it looks like for a small company of our size in terms of observability. This is what helps us keep things running. Last, I'll pause here. Let's not go into RAG. There is one very interesting thing. We'll discuss it later. But I want to pause quickly if there are any questions. Jaideep, you had one question that you would save for later, and if someone else has something, we'll talk.
Yeah. I think one thing is for the whole deduplication part that you mentioned, right? There is no LLM involved. This is a classic deduplication.
Yeah. We are actually not even doing hashing and everything. Yeah. All these platforms give a message ID. Every message that comes has a unique ID. So we just rely on that. So yeah. But see, two people actually messaging the same thing, right? It is actually two different unique IDs for those platforms. So we maintain that. We have to maintain that. Okay. Because you can't lose, because we also have that inbox. So that inbox has to resemble what you see in your messages. Right. It has to be in the same sequence, everything. It has to be faithful to what you would see when you open WhatsApp, essentially. Okay. Cool. So we have to maintain that. Yeah. Right. The other thing is the ability to take actions, right? I mean, I think a lot of this is because of the cognitive load, right? So how much of an action that it can go and take it for you on your behalf? वो कितना allow करते हैं? So action में it's not that. So I'll tell you what we do. That is the limit of what we do right now, right? Actions में we have out of the box, you can integrate with Google Sheets. Essentially, एक tab identify करता है, उसमें column add करता है, and goes on filling rows. That is extraction वाला action, right? Same thing you can do with Notion, but वो Notion के साथ is not a direct integration. We have a webhook का generic integration. कि webhook में आपका key डाल दो, headers डाल दो, and then we will give a body. that you can like pass to your that thing. You can customize that body also webhook का कि Notion को ये payload चाहिए तो ऐसे आप उसको ये कर लो. So that is possible. So Notion में so extraction is possible. Now you could extend this to something else, right? कि you create a middleware and you send webhooks to that middleware, and then that middleware does some magic, calls an LLM, sends data to an LLM. So, but we haven't productized that or baked into our product. We have kept it limited to extraction का आप इतना कर सकते हो. Now, second action में alerts है, for example, right? Now, alerts is again the same thing. It is extraction only if you think about it. But the end result is not like a sync of Google Sheet or something. It is calling some API. कि Slack का webhook call कर लिया, या you are sending an email, triggering an email, right? It's just calling those APIs. So essentially, action is limited to calling like third-party pre-verified API that you can do via the dashboard, essentially. So that is the action part. One more thing is the replies. That is another action, right? Automatic replies. So वहाँ पे भी automatic replies, maybe there is a boundary that you operate in. You are replying to that particular message only in that particular channel only. WhatsApp है तो WhatsApp में ही वही message को reply कर रहे हैं. And the reply is based on what knowledge base you have added. So knowledge base का lookup is also not something like a normal agent would do कि maybe search, let me search the internet, find the answer for you. It is very limited to this is my company's knowledge base. इसमें अगर answer मिला तो you will get a reply, otherwise you won't get a reply. So that way actions are kind of constrained.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Biswa, you have a question?
Yeah. So like you do this lot of OCR extraction, right?
Yeah.
And like different bills, images, receipts would have different structure. How does that get into a standard format on top of which आपका tool call होता है?
Excellent question. I missed that. I should have spoken about this. So this was one key learning that I had. Let me see if there is an example here. Yeah, see. So this is one key learning that I had. तो पहले कैसा था in my head, the mental model was I need to know the key value pairs that I should expect from a particular image, right? कि अगर invoice आने वाला है तो the tool की definition में मैं डालूंगा what is the name of the item, what is the price of the item. I'll create a tool definition like that. But this primitive is so powerful. It has so much flexibility that I discovered this while building it, like didn't invent anything. But you can give like a generic key value description. So you can say कि extract all visible text and content from this image into structured key value pairs, and properties में parameters में you can say field, that is the key, and the value, and you just specify what can be the type. कि string हो सकता है, number हो सकता है, array हो सकता है. And in the description you say कि extracted value can be this. We are looking at invoices. So I mean that is also not needed essentially, but you can add more context there in the description. This works so beautifully that whatever you are seeing here, right? We haven't hard-coded these labels or the keys anywhere. We haven't told because ये तो evaluation के पहले का है. ये तो message आया automatic उसने key value pair extract कर लिए है, right? So these key value pairs are being sent by the LLM because we have given it a tool call that is generic enough. It understands कि अच्छा ये data को मुझे key value pair में structure करना है. This one learning has unlocked so many use cases for us. We have a tool called HARP, which we sell to CAs. उसमें we process bank statements, we process invoices, challans, everything, right? And the same principle, we let them create templates. We give generic templates with this key value thing. It works amazing. Excellent question, Vishwa. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Maybe not now, but I would love to, if you can share, I would love to understand the technical part of the RAG and all of that, and maybe that's a deep dive talk.
Yeah.
But this was a very good top-down use case wala talk ki why, how, and this is genuinely, matlab, on an engineering or whatever software development side, we sometimes feel AI hallucinates, etc. But this kind of improvements in people's workflow, where now they don't have to manage, like anyone who's worked with sort of these industries knows ki kitna manual effort hota hai and how much of this can be improved.
True.
Very interesting. Like सही है, मतलब काफी interesting है.
Actually, I mean, बनाते वक्त बनाने से ज्यादा मजा तब आने लगा when it's being used every single day by their employees without being aware of क्या हो रहा है. They are just using it normally, and things are like working better for these companies.
Correct.
So like customers have told us कि हाँ, we have seen like revenue growth. The wrapping store percent saw 15% revenue growth last month compared to the earlier month.
Nice.
So it's like very satisfying that way.
Sorry.
And to think about it, it's all big because of that tool call.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, sahi. This is so useful.
This is useful. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity. And
Thanks for your time. This is
very difficult to find people to talk to when you are building a business with a team of 3 people. So I really appreciate this chance. Thank you so much.
no. I mean, of course, we would, as Chandra said, would like to actually go dive into technicalities. Maybe I'll ask Saurabh if we can have one more session. But great. No, this is super useful. I think it's a pain point. In fact, personally, like I run an open clock, right? And then I actually Saurabh mentioned it on a Slack that this is a ticket. So I actually in an auto, I actually created a ticket looking my email, my Slack, and GitHub, and then created a ticket on GitHub in an auto. I have a Telegram, right?
Nice.
So I am looking to optimize these things. That's what I do during my nights. Thanks.
Right. Cool. Okay. Thank you so much. It was.
Thanks, Satya, for doing this.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.